I am so sorry, guys. I had to finish watching The Equalizer, but I am so upset because I don't know if this was the season finale. So, of course, it ended unopened. And man, the end of that show was wow, how are they going to get out of this? So I don't know if that was the finale or you know how they do these season finales because that is a whopper. That was a whopper. So I don't know. I have to see because I haven't watched really the whole season. Every now and then when I come across it coming on Sundays, um, I would look at it because I like looking at the show. But I haven't watched all of them when the season started. But I watched the last few and man, they've been really good. But anyway, I am back. I am back. I am back. So of course I told you I want to read you a couple chapters of Little Woman, which I am. But again, I hope everyone is doing well and keeping God in your life as always. And it is Sunday. It's Sunday. Sunday night. And I just wanted to get on here, trying to get on once a week now, and read you a couple chapters and call it a night because it's work day tomorrow. I would love to take off tomorrow and do some deep cleaning in my house, but this is going to be my week of doing some deep cleaning. I'm gonna hit a room or two a day because by the weekend I don't want to be doing anything but chilling, relaxing in a clean, smelling good home. So let's get started. We are on chapter 8 of Little Woman, a telegram. Okay. November is the most disagreeable month in the whole year, said Margaret, standing at the window one dull afternoon, looking out at the frost-bitten garden. That's the reason I was born in it, observed Joe pensively. If something very pleasant should happen now, we should think it a delightful month, said Beth. I dare say, but nothing pleasant ever does happen in this family, said Meg. Hannah came in with a letter. It's a telegram, Mum, she said. Mrs. March snatched it, read the 2 lines it contained, and dropped back into her chair. Her face was white. Lori dashed downstairs for water while Meg and Hannah held Mrs. March, and Joe read aloud in a frightened voice. Mrs. March, your husband is very ill. Please come at once. S. Hale, Blank Hospital, Washington. Mrs. March read the message over and stretched out her arms to her daughters, saying, I shall go at once, but it may be too late. Lori sent a telegram saying I will come at once. The next train goes early in the morning. I'll take that. Leave a note at Aunt March's. She wrote a note. Now, go, dear, but don't kill yourself driving too fast. The happy household was broken up. Mr. Lawrence came hurrying back with Beth. Mr. Brooks said, I'm very sorry to hear of this, Miss March. I came to offer myself as an escort to your mother. How kind you all are. Mother will accept, I'm sure. Thank you very, very much. Meg led the way into the parlor, saying she would call her mother. Everything was ready and all errands were done, but Joe had vanished. They began to get anxious, but she came in soon after with a strange look on her face, a mixture of fun and fear, satisfaction and regret. She gave her mother a wad of money, saying, That's my contribution. My dear, where did you get it? $25? No, it's mine, honestly. I only sold what I'm sorry. No, it's mine, honestly. I only sold what was my own. As she spoke, Jo took off her bonnet. Her hair was short. Your hair! Your beautiful hair! Oh, Jo, how could you do that? You're one beauty. My dear girl, there was no need of doing this. She doesn't look like my Jo anymore, but I love her dearly for it. Everyone was surprised. Tell me all about it, Jo, said Mrs. March. Well, I was wild to do something for father, replied Jo. I didn't think of selling my hair at first, but then in a barber's window I saw hair with the prices marked, and one not so thick as mine was $40. I walked in, asked if they bought hair and what they would give for mine. The man said mine was not a fashionable color, and he never paid much for it. I begged him to take it and told him why I was in such a hurry. I took a last look at my hair while the man got his things, and that was the end of it. Go to bed and don't talk, for we must be up early and shall need all the sleep we can get. Good night, my darlings, said Mrs. March. They kissed her quietly and went to bed. Beth and Amy soon fell asleep, but Meg lay awake, thinking the most serious thoughts. Jo lay still and then sobbed. Jo, dear, what is it? Are you crying about father? No, my hair, burst out poor Jo. And that was chapter 8. So I'm going to read one more. This is getting good. Chapter 9, Letters. In the cold, gray dawn, the sisters lit their lamp and read their chapters with an earnestness never felt before. For now the shadow of a real trouble had come. The little books were full of help and comfort, and as they dressed, they agreed to say goodbye cheerfully and hopefully and send their mother on her journey, unsaddened by tears or complaints from them. Everything seemed very strange when the girls went down. It was dim and still outside, but full of light and bustle within. And nobody talked much, but as the time for her to leave drew near, Mrs. March said to the girls, Children, I leave you to Hannah's care and Mr. Lawrence's protection. Go on with your work as usual. Hope and keep busy. And whatever happens, remember that you never can be fatherless. We will, Mother, we will. The carriage arrived. No one cried. They all sent loving messages to father. They kissed their mother, hugged her, and waved cheerfully when she drove away. As she rode away, the sun came out. Mrs. March saw it shining on the group at the gate like a good omen. They smiled and waved, and the last thing she saw was 4 bright faces, and behind them, like bodyguards, old Mr. Lawrence, faithful Hannah, and devoted Laurie. I feel as if there had been an earthquake, said Jo at home. It seems as if half the house was gone, added Meg. Beth pointed to the pile of nicely mended stockings on the table, showing that even in her last hurried moments, Marmee had thought and worked for them. They all broke down and cried bitterly. Hannah wisely allowed them to relieve their feelings and then came with a coffee pot. Now, my dear young ladies, remember what your mom said and don't fret. Come and have a cup of coffee all around, and then let's fall to work and be a credit to the family. News from their father comforted the girls very much, for though he was very ill, His wife's being there had already done him good. Mr. Brooks sent a letter every day, and the girls wrote back. Okay, that was chapter 9. Next is chapter 10, and it's going to be called Little Faithful. It's getting good, guys. Those were 2 chapters I wanted to read, and that's going to be it for today. I'm going to get ready to call it a night and relax, and probably within an hour or so, I'm going to crash. Gotta get ready for the work tomorrow. Wish I could take off, but Lord willing, God will wake me up to a new day, and I will do what I have to do what I must do. Well, guys, as always, never give up. God can deliver you from anything. If it's His will, if it's not His will, He will deliver when it's time. And remember, God always is protecting us from something, and He would do it in His own time. But hold on to God. Always keep Him in your life. Put God first. Never give up. Love you guys. Have a good night.